Hey guys, welcome to Lenin 8. In this video, we are going to discuss a Java program to print a pattern, and the pattern is this. So if you just observe, it is a 2 by 2 matrix where the complete outer boundary is with 4, then the next inner boundary with 3, and the next further inner boundary with 2, and then the last digit will be 1. So I recommend you to pause the video and try your own logic. So let us understand how do we write this one, or how do we get this output in a step-by-step approach. So here is the expected output, and it is very easy, but maybe it is little time-taking process or challenging to get this idea. What is that is, if we take the number as 4, what I mean the number as 4 is what is the highest value in this output. So that is 4. So I am taking, if a number is 4, I'm not writing Java code, I'm explaining the logic. If this number is 4, now if you just notice the number of rows, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. At the same time, the number of columns, so these are called as columns here. Number of columns were also 7. Count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Then it is to get 7 rows or 7 columns. One thing is outer for loop. We'll be using outermost for loop to get the number of rows. So it is R1, R2 and all, just row 1, row 2 and all. And we'll be using the inner for loops to get the columns. It means loop has to run how many times? 7 times, right? Then how do we get 7? By using this 4. 4 is even number and 7 is odd number. So there will be a simple math behind this one. That is, if you write 2 into 4, then minus 1. That is 8 minus 1 becomes 7. Then we can write this one as 2n minus 1. So this is one point. Next, once we understood the 7 number of rows and 7 number of columns, and generally we'll be using for loops to start with 0. Therefore, what are the index numbers? This is 0 represented with first row, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here also the number of columns are, again, if you're running the loop from 0, then the count will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is one more step to understand. I hope it's clear. Once we have the 7 rows and 7 columns, and the row indexing is from 0 to 6 and column indexing also from 0 to 6. The next thing is, how do we get a particular value at any position? To understand that, let me take any 3 values. So first, if I pick this 3. So if you pick this 3, so there are 4 different positions are there for where this 3 is located. What I mean, there is some left side of 3. How many digits were there? 2. Right side of this 3, by leaving 3 we have to count it, so right side of 3, so there were 4 count. And towards up, how many count? 1. And towards down, there are 5. Correct? Yes. So wherever you feel comfortable, you can write it. So I'm writing, so 2 left and 4 is right, and upwards 1 and downwards 5. The same thing, just for our clear analysis for the later part. So for this 3, there is a upwards, I'm writing U for up 1. Then next one is left or downwards. Downwards is how many? 5. Then left it is 2. And then the right is 4. This is about this position 3. Not every 3, this position 3 only. Hope you understand. Next, let us analyze one more. I'll pick this 2. So for this 2 also, towards left, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm writing this count here. Towards right, 1, 2. And towards upwards, 1 and 2. And towards down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So if I pick the same 2 here, so for this 2, so I'm writing the same order. So upwards 2, downwards 4, left side 4, right side 2. I hope it's clear. Let us take one more. for more clarity or for more easy analysis. So I'll pick this one. So if we consider this one, then what are the corresponding numbering for this one? Numbering means left side. So left side, how many were there? 3. Right side 3. And upwards also 2, 3, 4 means 3 were there. And downwards also 3 were there. So I'll take this one. And for this one, positioning is upwards 3 and downwards 3, left 3 and also right 3. So here, one interesting thing, if you understand this, this is over. Out of all these things, which is minimum? The minimum is 1. Out of all this, which is minimum? So 2 and 2, therefore the minimum is 2. 4 are maximum, 2 is the minimum, so therefore minimum is 2. Then for out of these 4, the minimum value is 3. Correct? So which is representing that minimum value? So this minimum value is representing by up. And this minimum value is representing by, so either upwards or right. So we'll take a common logic. And this minimum value is representing by any one of these. So one more interesting thing is, which is representing upwards for all these numbers. So here upwards is 1. So this 1 is represented by, so let me erase this upwards for our clarity. This is not now, later we'll see. So if we just check this upwards is represented by 1. So if you just notice this clearly here, so which is representing this upwards? 1 is represented here. For this 3 I'm talking about, and here 1. This 1 is nothing but row number, correct? Corresponding row number. Row numbers, generally when we are writing outer for loop, we'll be using a variable I for this one, and for inner for loop we'll be using a j. General standard notation, right? So for this upwards, what is representing is I, corresponding I value. Next, for this position 2 also, upwards is what? 2. So for this 2, if you talk about, upwards is the value which is represented by what? Again the corresponding row number only, 2. Again this I. And for this 1, what is this upwards? 3. 3 is represented by corresponding row number. It means for every value of 3, 2, 1, the upwards value is represented by I only, which is common for all, right? Next, let us look at one more. Let us take the downwards. Okay. If we take downwards, so what is the downwards is representing? 5. And here downwards is 4. And here downwards is 3. So I'm using same color combinations for easy to understand. So what is representing downwards? Is it I? No. Downwards is 5, but the position of this 3 is nothing but here. The I value is 1. How do we get 5 based on the corresponding n value? That's one more thing we have to understand here. So what is standard form of this one? 2n minus 1. So when we take the same 2n minus 1, what is 2 into n? 8. 2 into 4, I mean. 2 into 4, 8. 8 minus 1, 7. 7 minus 1, 6. 6 minus I. What's I value here? So for this 3, I value is 1. Correct? So here, this is the important point. So 2n minus 1 is 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 minus I am writing. I am not writing 1. 6 minus I will give 5, which is matching to the downwards. Let us analyze here. 2n minus 1 minus 1 minus I. Let us cross verify for this also. 2n minus 1 is 6. 6 minus, what is the current I value? For this position 2, I is represented by using 2. Then is it matching to the 4? Yes, exactly. Then here also downwards. What is the same thing? Same pattern it should be. That's why 2n minus 1 minus again I. So 2n minus 1 is 6. 6 minus I value is 3. You can compare from the diagram or you can compare with this I value also. So which is also matching. So it means for every number, the downwards, there is a standard pattern. So out of all these three, if we can write in a common form, so 2n minus 1 becomes 2n minus 2, then minus I. Here also same thing, 2n minus 1 becomes minus 2 minus I. Then here also same, 2n minus 2 minus I. So upwards and downwards are based on I. I hope you understood. Let us go for left. So what is this left value? 2. When we consider this 3, left value is 2. 2 is represented by the corresponding j value, correct? And if it consider this 2, what's the left value? 4. 4 is represented by corresponding j value. And if you pick this one, left is what? 3. 3 is represented by corresponding j value. So we can simply conclude left is nothing but j, corresponding loops j value. And here also left is j, and here also left is j value. I hope no confusion here. Then the last right. Right again is not depends on directly I or j. So here one more interesting point is same as like down, your right also will follow same pattern. What is that? 2n minus 2. So because we understood clearly previously, I'm writing directly 2n minus 2 minus j. Just cross check. 2n minus 2 is 6. 6 minus j value is how much? So 2. So 6 minus 2 is matching to the right. So here also this 2n minus 2 minus j again. Then here also 2n minus 2 minus j. That's all. So this is about the corresponding upwards, downwards, left and right. I hope you understood. So what is n value and loop, how the loop has to run, and what is the corresponding upside, downside, left and right. So that's what we understood so far. Then the next and the important point in this is how do we get the minimum value? So we understood up, down, left, right, and the minimum value is 4. And here also minimum value is 2. And here minimum value is 3. How do we get the minimum value of 4? That's the next point. To understand that, there is a predefined function. So if you write the logic of our own, again, it will become so lengthy code. There is a predefined function in math library, that is math.min. Math.min, and this min function will take only two parameters. Only two parameters. So for example, say x comma y. So when it is taking only two parameters, then how do you find the minimum of 4? That's our next challenge, right? So that is very, very easy. So in place of this x, once again, can we call the same function? What I mean? So it is math.min parenthesis. So again, math.min. In place of x, I'm writing here. I hope it's clear. So this will take two parameters. For example, left comma right. Then comma as it is. Then here again, math.min function and upside comma downside. Then the closing of the starting math.min parenthesis. So if you write like this, so this will give the minimum of left and right, and this will give the minimum of up and down, and together this will give the minimum of any of the two values. This result and this result minimum value will be the final result. That is our next important point, which we are not aware of maybe previously. And last thing. So here we are getting the upside and the downwards, left, right, and then the corresponding minimum value. How do we get this number? What we supposed to do? What's the minimum of all this? The minimum of all this is nothing but, so here 1524 or 2442 or 3333. So the minimum value is, so corresponding 1 and corresponding 2 and corresponding 3 as well. Once we get the minimum, how do we get this number? That's the next question. Correct? No? Yeah, so that is from n. From n, if we subtract the corresponding minimum value. So I'm not writing any Java code here. This is just understanding the corresponding minimum value. this result, or if you use this inside the print statement, this will give you the corresponding numbers. So what's minimum value for this first four? For analysis, I'm just using left 0, right up 0. So that's a 0 is a minimum. Then n minus 0 becomes how much? 4 minus 0 becomes 4. Then for this 4 also, what's the minimum? Left is 1, but up is 0. So again 4 minus 0 will becomes 4. So for all these 4, the minimum is nothing but corresponding 0 value. Even for all these 4s also, the minimum is 0. So here left is minimum, and here up is minimum, and here down is left is minimum, and here down is minimum for all these things, and here right is minimum. That means zeros. That's how we get all these 4s here. Then how to get any 3? So for example, if I take what's the left 1, down 1. So 1 and 1 minimum is 1. So what we supposed to do? From n value, that minimum we have to take away. 4 minus 1 becomes 3. Like this, if you pick this 2, left is 2, down is 2, then minimum is 2 only, then 4 minus 2 will become 2 itself. And if you pick this 1, all are 3, then 4 minus 3 will become 1. So this is the complete logic behind this pattern. I hope you understood. Let us execute and cross verify. For the same program execution, I'm into Eclipse here. So I'm taking a class, and the class name is pattern1. And inside this one, get pattern is a method which is returning void here, and the input parameter is n. So one loop has to run from 0. For int I equal to 0, then I should be less than 2 into n minus 1. Yeah. Or if you are making this equals, less than or equals, then what we supposed to do? We should write 2n minus 1, 1 more minus 1 becomes minus 2. You can write either way. Either we can write 2 into n minus 2 is correct by having equal to symbol here, or we can write 2n minus 1 without the equal symbol. Yeah. Then I plus plus. Inside this, one more for loop. For j equals 0, j is less than 2 into n minus 1, j plus plus. And int upside is 1, as we already discussed. And left is j. And then right is 2 into n minus 2 minus j. And downwards is 2 into n minus 2 minus I. So for if you are more comfortable with both i's together, then let me cut this from here and let me paste it here. And upward, up and down are based on I, left and right are based on j. To have a hint, I just swap these lines. Then inside the print statement, and observe here, I'm using a print, not println. Where this is, it is inside the j loop. And this is what the math function which I'm talking about, math.min. So first we are using outer.math.min, and the first parameter is the entire function once again. Second parameter for outer math is was same once again, one more time the same function. And this internally will give the minimum of up and right, and this internally will give the minimum of down and left. Then outer will take the final minimum value that we are subtracting from n, as we discussed. Yeah. Then I'm adding one space for better view. And after the inner for loop, j loop, and before the I loop. So we are using one println for the cursor to go to next line after printing first row, then one more time after printing second row, one more time new line. So that is a print statement here with println. So here print and here println. Then the last, what we supposed to do to execute. So here I am creating the object for the class. And since it's void type, we can only call the function. Function call is there. And here I'm implementing scanner class to read the input from the keyboard. Now let us execute by saving this program, then execute control F11. So from this console, we have to give the input here. So let me give 4 and press enter. So this is what we expect, correct? Then let me re-execute, and I'm giving 3. What's supposed to be the output? Outer boundary should be 3, then next inner is 2, then finally 1 at the center. 1 will be the center at the for every input. And let me also execute one more time. Is it working for other numbers? Let me give 7. It is also working for 7, where you can see 1 should be the centermost number. I hope you understood. And for me to make more videos, Please post your questions in the comment section. Thank you and see you in the next video.